And welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. We have a great show for you today, and it'll be a little unique. There are no commercials in this show today, and the reason we're doing that is because, well, we've got a specialist from State Farm with the agency recruiting part of their system. And we wanted to give you a little information about their, I'll call it collaboration. When they're looking for somebody to be a State Farm agent, there's a specialist they're looking for. They've got a specific type of person, and if you fit the design, I hope that you'll engage with my guest today, Kimberly Evans.
Hi, Patrick. Thank you so much for having me here today.
I'm glad to have you. I want to get into this segment, and really this show is about the candidate. Who do you consider to be the ideal candidate, and what are some of the things that you guys do to get them through that process?
Okay, great question. The opportunity to become a State Farm agent is unlike anything else that I have ever seen. We're really looking for four main competencies. The first one I really deem soft qualities, okay? So what that means is we're looking for things that I cannot teach you. The desire to help others, for example. Do you have an entrepreneurial vision, for example? Do you enjoy sales? Do you want to lead a team? So those are sort of soft competencies that I'm looking for, because there's no doubt that this is a very rewarding business. It's very rewarding financially, but it's very rewarding intrinsically. In other words, the first time that you pay out a cash benefit on a life policy, it's absolutely going to change your life.
I would imagine that the impact on that emotionally will be life-changing. So that's, I get you talking about that.
Absolutely. You know, you're the one person that's there when kind of people are at their worst, when they need something, when they've had a wreck, when their house is burnt down, and you as an agent are that one person that gets to put people back together again, and that's really rewarding. And there's not a lot of opportunities out there like this, but we need somebody that has a desire to help others, and sort of that's kind of where that comes in, if that makes sense.
Sure.
We want people that have a passion to help others, more or less. If you don't mind, I'll tell you a quick story. I have an agent who there was a major wreck on a freeway, and that particular agent insured the motorcycle fatality. And she had never offered him life insurance. And that completely changed her life, the way she ran her business and the role of how important that she is in other people's lives.
Right, because anytime you're having that kind of impact and you realize, wow, if I have that one client, how can I affect so many others? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. Excuse me. I also am looking for hard competencies. So what does that mean? Those are people that they're high producing, already successful individuals. They usually have a track record of success. You know, they are always at the top of the list. They're always trying to be the best in, regardless of what industry it is. The industry is not necessarily specific, but are you currently trying to be the best at what you do? You know, a lot of times, I also think, you know, you've got to be a little bit competitive, and sometimes that's competitive against yourself.
Right.
But ultimately, what we're talking about, you know, a lot of times I've had success with people in the sports industry, teachers or coaches. They may not have sold something, but they have led people. They have achieved high results, and they've had a vision that other people have to go along and follow.
Right.
And that's partly of what has attributed to their success. So those are more hard competencies that we're looking for.
Well, one of the things that's kind of neat too is that selling is serving. I mean, that's what it really is about, right? And so you're, just like what you're saying, you're competitive enough to make results happen, but your desire and your heart is to make sure that you help other people get where they want to go, right?
Absolutely. And that's kind of those hard competencies, more or less. But at the same time, we're also looking, I'm also looking for something that might be lacking.
Right.
Okay, there's a need to make them want to switch over to become a State Farm agent. So sometimes maybe they're in the type of position where there's no room for advancement. Maybe they're doing the work, the company's had layoffs, they're doing the work of 10 people,
right,
and they're not reaping those rewards for themselves like a State Farm agent does. I mean, the harder you work, the more you will make, the better you will do, the more people you can help.
Right.
So they don't necessarily have that connection where they currently are. A lot of industries are downsizing, and because of that, people are looking elsewhere. And usually there's something intrinsically that is lacking that they are looking for.
Right, and I know that sometimes it's they're in a mom and pop organization. They're one of the lead horses, so to speak, but they don't have the right last name, right?
Could be, yeah, absolutely.
Can't get to where they really want to be in leadership because bloodline's not the same.
Well, and a lot of really competitive positions also require a lot of travel, which means being away from your family. So
Right.
sometimes they just are looking for a work-life balance,
Now, military guys too. I mean, some of those come with some of these competencies. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. We've had a huge success because they know how to lead. They are very strong at creating a vision, executing a plan, and really making things work very succinctly. So absolutely, we've had a lot of success with people from military coaches. The industry isn't necessarily important. It's more about who you are and what you're looking for.
Well, and the other thing about some military guys is they might have a retirement because you can retire so early,
right,
at 20 years or whatever, and they'll have a fund to help them, won't that?
Absolutely, Patrick, and you bring up a great point, which is really the fourth thing that I am looking for. And what that is the ability to invest. Okay, so let me talk a little bit around what that might mean. I'm looking for no liens, judgments, tremendous amount of late pays. So you think of it this way. You're about to be responsible for other people's money, so your own house needs to be in order. If that
right, makes sense to me.
Okay.
Because you can't give away something you ain't got.
Right.
In other words, you're going to serve whatever you have going on in your life, you're going to replicate in your agency. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. But you also need to have the ability to have access to capital, possibly not take money out the first few years as well. Those are all things surrounding the financial piece of this opportunity, because it is that. I mean, if this were easy, everybody would do it. I often tell people the definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who sees the risk, sees the reward, and can tie the two together. Not everybody can do that. So we are looking for entrepreneurial people, and there's a financial aspect to that for sure.
I would imagine that idea of being able to carry yourself is a stopping point for a lot of people, even at this point, is that if they can't carry themselves, then at that point they may look for alternatives within the State Farm arena possibly.
Sure. We can sometimes connect them to an agent. They can work for an agent, save some money, learn the systems and the processes, and then get back into the agency process when they're ready.
Very good.
Great way to do it. A lot of times too, I tell people, could you not take home anything the first year, not take anything out of the business? How would you pay your household expenses? How would you survive? Because State Farm really doesn't want to frustrate you or your family and put you in a bad situation. So we really try to discuss that as much as we can up front and make sure that that's something that you know about going into the opportunity.
But it sounds like your opportunity really is a collaboration, because I know that State Farm really does. They step up to bat with you, and that's one of the reasons why I understand your retention rate is like 30 years or something. I mean,
That's true. Well, our average agent will stay with us for about 30 years, but the opportunity very much is collaboration. And the way I'll explain it is like this. I think of it like a farmer, okay? State Farm is going to help you, give you the land. We're going to help even give you the seeds to plant.
Right.
But it's completely up to you to work that crop. It's completely up to you. And the first year is really tough, obviously, because you're doing the first plant. You're not yet reaping what you have sown. So that's sort of kind of goes back to that financial piece. But at the same time, as opposed to a hunter and a killer, we are looking for somebody who can cultivate the crop, that can service the sheep. Another way to, kind of look at it as well is if you don't want to invest in your business, maybe you didn't really want it that badly to begin with. Because we do everything we possibly can to collaborate. It's almost like a partnership, more or less, with the candidate. We're going to run alongside with you. That can mean a couple things. Number one, that means with the State Farm agent opportunity, there is no ceiling.
Right.
Okay, it's an unlimited income, and I literally mean that. But what is it not? There's no floor either.
Right.
So you've got to be comfortable with that.
That's one of the things that's really important, is that at the end of a time with you guys, they will, if they've done the work, if they've invested and they've spent the energy and done what you train them to do, then they'll end up with some great results. But if they don't, they could end up being badly hurt.
Yes, yes. And that really comes down to the support that State Farm provides for the agency program. We pay for licenses, we pay for training, and significant amounts of training.
I mean, it's several months, isn't it?
Yes, it can be up to 9 months. The theory behind that really is sink or swim.
Right.
We do not want to put candidates out there and say, hey, we'd like you to sell to your friends and your family. If you make it, great, but if you don't, that's okay. The organization hasn't invested in you. State Farm does not want to take that approach at all. So we're going to pay to train you. We will also give you a line of credit, and we will help you with a sign-on bonus as well. So there is support, support, support. All of the candidates as well will get either a line of credit or something that we call the premium building payment. It really just kind of depends on the market. If it's a high growth market, you can start with 0 policyholders, and we will give you the premium building payment based off of what you performed within the last month. That is significant to help you to make even the agent over here that inherited a book of business in an established market that's already built out. So again, it's just a level of support to really help you. And I love, obviously that's important because it's capital.
Sure.
But it's important because it's the message that State Farm wants to send, that we are with you.
And you have some real choices as to turf too, right?
Yes, absolutely. We do not choose where you will go. You can wait for a specific amount of time, or you can go very quickly. We've got opportunities literally nationwide. I mean, we've got opportunities, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex where we are, that we need agents. We've got agents retiring. We've got high growth in the state, just in general. So we've got a lot of opportunity, I think, for the right person for sure. So, and that's part of the reason, I think, the support that we provide, that's part of why our agents, why we have such a high success rate in the program. We certainly can't guarantee it, but we can do everything that we can to help support you and your business.
One of the things I'd be interested in your process. What's your process for literally bringing on someone?
Okay, great question. The process is really 4 steps. The first one is a personality questionnaire that you take online, and it's actually taking the most successful characteristics from some of our most successful State Farm agents and putting that into a questionnaire to see if you match. If you receive an acceptable result on the sales leadership career profile, then you're going to go on to the second step, which is virtual career understanding. Now what that is a set of videos that you can watch, and you get to determine if the opportunity is right for you or not.
So it's a step like way beyond this, they're getting into the real, what are you really going to be doing with your day and with your time and your energy?
What does the agent do on a daily basis? What does the compensation look like? How is that going to pan out for you? Is that you get to decide, yes, this is the opportunity I think I want to pursue, or no, I'm not interested right now, or no, I'm not interested at all. And
right.
That's fair. At that point, what we're going to do, if you decide to continue, is a phone interview. a candidate structured interview where we're going to go over behavioral questions. We're going to ask you, why do you want to be a State Farm agent? We want to start finding out what those answers are. Those 3 steps are intended, again, to see if this is something you want to do. Then what we do is we're going to progress into, is this something you can do?
Right.
And my favorite part of the process, Patrick, is this part. We will align you out in the market with a sales leader, with somebody, a mentor that helps manage agents.
Excellent.
So they know what marketing is working well. They know what the agents are doing on a daily basis. We also help provide you with a business plan coach. And the 3 of you will kind of collaborate and work together and put pen to paper and say, I want to have 2 staff members. I want to pay them X amount of dollars. I want to do this type of marketing, and that's going to cost, X amount of dollars. I always say there's 3 categories. There's staffing, marketing, and your office expenses, the pens, the paper, the lease. So what you're actually going to do is kind of determine what this business might look like for you.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun. I mean, honestly, it's a fun part of the process, you're going to say, but a lot of what's going on is fact finding.
Right.
You might meet with some agents. You're going to learn a little bit about the systems and the processes, again, to figure out, is this going to make you the kind of money you want to make? Is this a risk that you can take?
Right.
Again, and start putting pen to paper and really visualizing what this opportunity is going to look like for you, because it can be different for everybody.
One of the things I'm hearing is that you really bring somebody into the water, ankles, knees, all the way down. They immerse themselves in the system, and they've got good mentors and people that are helping you. So I think that's really tremendous when you look at the different things that you guys are bringing to the table for each and every candidate that you walk through your system. Are there more steps to the process?
Yes, absolutely. So once you write that business plan, that proposal, then you are approved for a 3-year window. Now, I talked about people that are ready now and people that are ready later. At that point, you can kind of determine, I always say there's really 3 questions that we want to know. When do you want to become an agent? Where do you want to become an agent? And what types of opportunities, when, where, and what? What types of opportunities do you want to look at?
Oh, very cool.
So we'll kind of develop a bullseye. This is a geographic area I'd like to look at. And if you're ready now, I may have to have a conversation with you to say, well, if you want to wait for a few months, we might have something open up. But if you would, if more important for you is when, then we can get together and find the right timing for you. I always say right agent, right place, right time.
Well, sure.
So we're going to line those things up, definitely.
Well, I know that, okay, so are there any other steps to the process? I don't want to leave that.
Well, yes, we're going to do a final interview. We will, at that point, begin the 9 to 12-month training process. But that is kind of the process in a nutshell. It's more about, is this something you want to do? Is this something you can do? And then we work on the placement of where you should be.
Right. And I know that so much of this, when you look at, if you're watching this, you should be asking yourself, do I fit in that box? Am I the type of person that Kimberly's really looking for? And if you are, then great. You should be contacting her on her website and getting the ball started. But so much of this is trying to find the right person, isn't it?
Right, right. Because at the end of the day, we do not want to stress you out.
Right.
We don't want to put we don't want the business to hold you hostage.
Right.
I mean, this is an amazing opportunity to really do what you want to do, to take the next step in your career, to go further to a place that maybe you've never gone before with the unlimited income potential and everything. And when I have seen agents sit in that role and see it change their lives and what it can do for them and their family, it's amazing. I mean, it's a great, it's great financially. It's great. It's very rewarding. A lot of agents think of themselves like as important as a doctor, and I believe that. I mean, they're there helping them with financial success for their future, starting college fund savings accounts, setting up for retirement, protecting their home, protecting their families. So it's a very emotional business, and I love it. I think that the agents get wrapped up in that.
Oh yeah, and I think that they become pillars in their community in a real massive way. I know one of the things that I really want to make sure we get out is, what do you want to tell somebody that is looking at this opportunity? What do you really want them to hear, and when should they connect to you?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that. If something is lacking, as we talked about earlier, then they should pursue the opportunity. If there's something not being met where they currently are. If they're a competitive individual who wants to create their own destiny, some of it is if you're strong enough. It's a production-based environment. So you have to be comfortable with the fact that, day one of the beginning of the month, we're going to start at 0, and at the end of the month, you're going to get to where you want to be, knowing that that counter is going to roll over the very next day.
Right.
And that drives a lot of my agents to do better than what they did last month, last year, and that's that competitive nature.
Right.
So if you're competitive, that's something to look at as well. If you want to lead others, my agents are in no small way huge visionaries, because I always say it's a needs-based analysis that you're going to have with that client sitting across from you. If you just sell them a product, you're going to absolutely miss the boat.
Right.
It's really about connecting with them, connecting with the community, and figuring out what they need. My most successful agents are the ones that have almost an element of education. They're not just telling them you need this product, they're explaining to them why they need the product. And when they've got that element of education, that's what makes $1 million plus agents.
Now, it would seem that tenacity is a huge element here, because what I heard earlier is that first, second year, you may not pull any, you may be one of those people that don't take anything out of your business. But it sounds like year 3 and beyond could be just a whole nother universe.
Absolutely. As long as you've got initially to start with that responsible credit history, that's a big part. And you would like to invest in your own business. I mean, that's part of it. Another way to think of it as well is State Farm cannot be the only one with skin in the game.
Right.
Right? I mean,
absolutely.
We're going to provide you some startup capital to help you. We're going to train you. We're going to invest in you. We're going to do all those partnership pieces that I mentioned. But you want to have some skin in the game.
Well, an entrepreneur is they get that. Now, some people that are employee-minded, they won't even hear that very well. So I think that if all you've ever been as an employee, really make sure that you get that this is a longer-term business opportunity collaboration. It's not a job.
No, I often tell people, if you want a job, I can help you find a job. I might be able to connect you with an agent, but this is a career.
Correct.
This is a life-changing opportunity that I hope that people that watch this, if they're starting to think, well, I am this competitive individual, I do have a good credit history, I do have some capital to invest, and we'll explore what that is down the road, how much and what it looks like and things like that. But just, I always say, almost be able and willing. Sometimes the willing part is even more than the able.
Now, they'd have to be fairly teachable too, right?
Yes.
I mean, just because you've been a stallion everywhere else in the universe, they need to be able to learn your systems, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you want somebody who's coachable. The products that we have today, State Farm is #1 for a reason, and we're going to continue to be. And there may be products that you and I don't even know exist that we're going to add someday. So when we have something like that, we are continually investing in ourselves as an organization to make sure that we can handle the changes, and we will add those new products. Which is exciting. I tell agents, this is a global opportunity. You've got to think bigger than what it is today about what it is going to look like in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. What do you want that business to be when you retire?
And technology too. You guys are always investing in your own technology and making sure that you've got good, I'll say CRMs, but customer relationship managers and things of that nature, right?
Oh yeah, we've got great things. We've got a State Farm Pocket app. We are continually going to be on the forefront of technology, as well as from the agent side. We want to make sure that the agents, we are committed to the agent model. And what that means is we're going to put that technology in the hands of the agents as well.
Right.
So that when you call, you're going to be able to automatically see who's on the phone, what do they need, get them help very quickly so that you can start, if they have a claim or whatever, fill whatever, purpose that they called, you can
Right.
fill that need.
One of the other things that I notice is that, when you look at this opportunity, this collaboration, it really is about the people though, but it's the people, and what I so appreciate about your industry and your company is that you're people focused. In other words, the clients are the most important people in your universe. The agents are those that serve the clients.
Absolutely. Ultimately, we are a mutual company. And what that means is that the policyholders are the stakeholders. They're the shareholders of the organization.
And that's unique in the industry, isn't it?
Yes, well, it's unique in the industry. It's unique these days, period.
Yeah, because you guys have said even the policyholders are collaborating with you at your own success.
Yes, absolutely. So, and that's not far from our mission statement, I think, which is to help people manage the risk of everyday life, to recover from the unexpected, and to realize their dreams. And that's what I hope this agency opportunity is for people. I hope it's a way for them to realize their dreams. I hope it's a way to help them connect out into the community and help others recover from everyday life, to the unexpected, the things that happen. My agents are there at 2 o'clock in the morning if a claimant has, their house is burning down. Our agents are there. They're the ones in the community. We're first responders. And that has a lot to do with the type of candidate that we're looking for. We want the people that really have, the competitive nature, but also have, something is lacking, then they really want to help them, as well as lead others, lead within the community, and have a great lifestyle and enjoy what they do.
That is awesome. Folks, this is the Business Spotlight, and what you've heard today is really what State Farm is looking for in its agents. It's a unique kind of show, and if you're watching this, you're probably seeing it as an entry training type of tool for them. And I hope that if you fit the model, if you see the opportunity, that you dive in, that you connect to Kimberly, get on her website, get to know her. Again, this is a Business Spotlight where businesses get to tell their story in the marketplace to have an impact every day. With that, we'll talk to you all next time.